Charity concert eno yansonga twatunyumirwa kwobokera tugenda kubasesa kuwulira bubi nnyo kwono.
The phone service center Chiraka Afro Mobile Success Motors and Med Recruitment Agency Limited.
MP4.
This is Salone Chanja. Let's Sanyuka TV.
Are you craving for that special meal that will entice your taste buds and leave you with lasting thrilling memories? Look no further. Spice Island Bulenga has got your answer. Natural, fresh and delicious juice, the best meals. Don't miss our daily specials from Monday to Sunday. Pizza Wednesday, Saturday Pizza Bonanza, you buy one and take two. Come dine with us and feel the experience. We are located at Prime Shopping Center in Bulenga, Mitiana Road. For inquiries, call us on 0704111720. Spice Island, we treat your cravings.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Buterevu tubaniriza nnyo wano ku Digital TV, ladies and gentlemen. Amanya nze Edgar Mathew Karuhanga. Enaku z'omwezi tuli 23 omwezi guno gwa Gatonnya oba January omwaka 2024. Amawulire tulina mangi agagenda maaso mu ggwanga wabweru w'eggwanga byonna tugenda kuba tubinyumyako mpola mpola biki ebibadde gy'otabadde byonna tubeera wano nga tugezaako okusiigira ekifaananyi ku biki ebiba bigenda maaso mu ggwanga. Mbaniriza nnyo munzikirize ntuuse okwetonda kubanga tutuuse akadde nga katambuddekumu naye there are some technical glitches here and there. So tuwabeerawo challenges wano na wali, so tubasaba basebo ne banyabo mutugumiikirize era ne kati oba owulirayo ka echo mu sound wo bannange mutugumiikirize tukyatereeza mpola mpola. Yes, amawulire tulina mangi. AFCON ekyagenda maaso ng'ebumbujja mu bibuga ebyenjawulo wali mu ggwanga erya Cote d'Ivoire. Ngenda kuba njogerako ku biki ebigenda maaso. Then mu ggwanga wano era tulina amawulire mangi. Obulwadde bwa malaria oba omusujja gw'ensiri bweyongeredde ddala mu ggwanga era ndooza kantandikire ku eyo story yennyini. Obulwadde bw'ensiri bweyongedde mu ggwanga, abantu 25 be bali confirmed okubanga be bafunye obulwadde buno okuva mu mwezi oguwedde paka ssaawa zino. Buno obulwadde obwa malaria buli spread oba butambuzibwa akawuka ke bayita female anopheles mosquito. Kano nno ye kika ky'ensiri etambuza kalwadde kano akaleeta omusujja gw'ensiri. So mu mbeera eyo tubadde twagezaako okubanga tulwanyisa ekirwadde kino era tubadde tweyongerayo okubanga tukirinnya ku nfeete naye ebizibu bikyali bingi. Ministry of Health yagezaako okubanga egaba obutimba bw'ensiri obw'enjawulo okubanga bayamba bannayuganda okubanga beetangira buno obulwadde naye paka ssaawa zino obulwadde buno bweyongeredde ddala. Naye mu mawulire amalungi agajja ne keesi eno nti mu ggwanga erya Cameroon mu kibuga ekya Yaounde olunaku lw'eggulo bakonfaminze vaccine y'obulwadde buno bwa malaria era waliwo omwana omu gwe bakubye era ye mwana eyasookedde ddala okubanga areceiving malaria vaccine eno nno vaccine egenda kubanga eyamba abaana naddala batanaweza myaka 5 okubanga basobola okubanga beetangira ekirwadde kino ekya malaria okubanga tebasobola kubanga bafuna obulwadde buno obwa malaria. So embeera eyo yakujaguza era tulinze tulabe engeri gye kinaaba kitandise mu ggwanga erya Cameroon. Banaaba abaorganizinze batya vaccine eno we batalina buzibu eri obulamu bw'omuntu era kijja kubanga kyetaagisa okubanga vaccine eno etambuzibwa mu mawanga naddala gano agali mu maserengeta ga Africa, omuzungu kyayita Sub-Saharan Africa. So mu mbeera eyo ajjukira Sub-Saharan Africa eno yesinga okubanga eri deeply affected obanga etawanyizibwa obulwadde buno obw'omusujja gw'ensiri. So Cameroon wenaaba emaze okubanga etegeka vaccine endoza bannayuganda nabo bajja kubanga basobola okubanga bajettanira okubanga tusobola okulwanisa kino ekirwadde ekya malaria mu mbeera eyo naye nga go mawulire malungi okuva mu ggwanga lya Cameroon nti kati malaria vaccine eno egenda kubanga eri spread mu bantu ab'enjawulo mu kirala era mu mawulire amalala ndooza mu ggwanga lya Cape Verde era eggwanga eryo it's an island naye nga liri wano okusemazinga eya Africa eggwanga lya Cape Verde oba amalala okubanga bakonfaminga nti ekirwadde kino ekya malaria tebakyakirina oba ekirwadde ky'omusujja gw'ensi tebakyakirina era badeclaringa nti they are malaria free country ekyo nno kiba kikulaga nti nno ekirwadde kyo tusobola okubanga tukirwanisa tukirinya ku nfeete naddala tubanga twetegese obanga tuli intentional about this particular issue mu mbeera eyo yennyini so nga tuvuddeko kaawo munzikirize ngendeko mu ggwanga erya Liberia eggwanga eryo olunaku lweggulo badde abalayiza president waabwe omujja omwami Joseph Boakai ono yali vice president w'eggwanga lino okuva mu mwaka gwa 2008 paka mu mwaka gwa 2016 oluvannyuma twalabanga omwami George Weah yali omusambi w'omupiira yakusamba omupiira nakuna era yawangula n'engule ey'omusambi asinga okusamba omupiira mwaka gwali gwa 1995 ye musambi eke akawangula engule eno eya Balando oba engule ey'omusambi asinze okusamba omupiira mu nsi yonna ng'ava ku lukalu luno lwa Africa George Weah bamulonda nga adda mu ntebe awo kubanga ye mukulembeze w'eggwanga lino era Liberia naye waayitawo ekisanja kimu basobodde okubanga bamumegga akalulu omwami yamumeza akalulu ye Joseph Boakai ono aweze emyaka 79 era yagenda okubeera president asookedde ddala okubanga asingidde ddala okuba omukulu okubanga akulembera lino eggwanga erya Liberia so mu mbeera eyo olunaku lweggulo yadde agezaako okuwa kye bayita inauguration speech n'okulayira okubanga afuuka president w'eggwanga lino erya Liberia naye twalabye nga teyasobodde kubanga amalako kulayira kwe nakwogera kwe mu mbeera nayogedde okumala eddakiika 30 naye kyalabise nga yadde talina mukka bulungi era omwami ono yaddusiddwa n'atwalibwa mu ddwaliro naye amawulire ge twakafunawo gakakasa nti omwami ono alina ekirwadde eky'omutima era kyali tekisobola kumusobozesa kubanga ayogera for such a long time era bayadde balina okubanga bamugjawo mu mbeera eyambagirawo asobole okubanga afuna obujjanjabi ono omwami musajja mukadde nga wowulidde emyaka 79 era nga ya replacinze George Weah yabadde president omuto asingidde ddala obuto okubanga afuga eggwanga erya Liberia naye kati wetwogerera ng'omwami ono Joseph Boakai ye president naye ndooza mulaba ekizibu ky'aba Africa paka ssaawa zino tukyalina abakulembeze nga bakulu naye nga bakyayagala entebe mu mbeera eyo so omwami Joseph Boakai yalaze nti no weakness omubiri gwo gulabikanga okugamba nti yeetaaga abeere ng'awummula oba ng'abeera muntu kyewalise retirement emyaka 79 oba okuliridde nno ddala naye omwami ono yagamba nedda alina okuba ng'akulembera eggwanga lino erya Liberia so Joseph Boakai ekirungi yagenza okuba ng'alemererwa okwogera nga bamaze dda okuba nga bamulayiza ku bwa president w'eggwanga lino erya Liberia mu mbeera Liberia esangibwa wali mu West Africa era nga limu ku mawanga ge waligambye agataali colonized ku continent eno yo n'eggwanga erya Ethiopia tebaba basobola kubanga baba colonizinga mu mbeera era bo basajja badde beefuga okumala akaseera kati mu mbeera eyo naye yo Liberia lwaki tebagifuga we baali settlement y'abaslaves ab'enjawulo so bano abasajja abazungu we baateekanga abaddugavu abasinga okubanga babajjawo okubatambuza mu continents ez'enjawulo awo we basinziiraawo okubanga babatwala mu America gye bakolera obuddu obw'amaanyi ne babatwalako ne mu Brazil era ogenda mu Brazil ojja kusanga abasajja abaddugavu bangi nnyo ddala mu mbeera bakola ndoozi ebitundu 14 ku buli 100 mu ggwanga erya Brazil so yonna inception yabeeranga around that Liberia area we baba settlinganga okubanga babajjawo okubatambuza mu continents ez'enjawulo eyo no ye history y'Abafirika etaliisa nakabululu yadde mu mbeera eyo nga tumaliriza kubanga kadde katutwalidde empinga munzikirize njogereko ku government yaffe yakuno yabakanye n'ogwokutandika okubanga bakola exploration of oil oba okubanga banoonyereza ku mafuta agali mu Teso region ejjukira bigambo bingi ebibadde bibungesebwa nti waliyo amafuta naddala mu district eyo ya Nnoya n'ebitundu ebyetooloddewo naye kati government kyo kigenda okuba nga etandika okukola exploration mu Teso region yonna. Si just a few districts bagenda kubanga batandika okubanga banoonyereza ku mafuta gano gabanga mwegali ebeera nno advantage ya Uganda wadde nga ensangi zino amateeka agetutambuliramu oba kyewaliise global politics and global law bayinza okuba tebajja tukkiriza oba bayinza okuba tebakitwala bulungi nga tu-exploringa gano amafuta kubanga amafuta mu kugajja mu ttaka waliwo engeri gy'okosaamu obutonde ekireetera nutrients z'ettaka eryo okukendeera organisms ezitambulira mu ttaka eryo okubanga ziri deeply affected ate n'okuleeta soil infertility mu mbeera eyo. So nga wetugenda mu maaso okubanga tunoonyereza ku mafuta gano ge tuyinza okubanga tufunye endooza n'ekyo kyetaaga okubanga kirowoozebwako mu mbeera eyo yennyini. Waliwo nno n'emigozi oba n'egigenda mu maaso mu kuziika eyali omubaka wa parliament owa Dokolo omukyala Cecilia Ogwal. Omukyalo ono ndoza mawulire gatutuukako sabbiiti ewedde ng'eggwa nti omukyalo ono yali assizza ogw'enkomerero mu mbeera eyo yafiira mu ggwanga erya Buyindi era omubiri gwe gwaleeteddwa olunaku lweggulo olwadde gwatuuse infact olunaku lwa Sunday gwabadde gwatuuse dda mu ggwanga wano naye okuva nga omanyi ebya Uganda waliwo emigozi obano wano nawali in terms of money bagamba sente waliwo sente ezaleeteddwa parliament naye sente zo tezinatuuka ku bantu abalina okuba nga bategeka omukolo guno then waliwo n'ekibayise inflated pricing ekyo kyonna kibaddewo nnyo mu ggwanga lino. Inflated prices sente oziteekamu nnyo esowaani yadde erina okuba ey'$50,000 per plate service provider gyalina okugaba ate kiraga nti bagikyajinze ku $227 up to $3 buli sowaani kwegamba buli wamu wabeerawo omulyo mu Uganda wano ne waligambye nti nno tuli mu kuziika omuntu abadde w'ekitiibwa ennyo mu ggwanga lino naye ate era emigozi oba n'ogiwulira nti waliwo agezaako okubulankanya ensimbi wano ne wali ensimbi eziteereddwa parliament ezituuka ku bannayuganda ate nga omukyalo nno abadde aweereddwa state funeral nga gavumenti yamukkiriza okubanga bamuwa okuziika okwa state kwewaligambye okw'ekitiibwa naye emigozi bano gyatandise dda naye bino si bipya. Buli wabeerawo ebintu weebiti ndooza amawulire mutera okubanga mugafuna ne kuziika kwolanya mujjukira waaliwo stories bwe zityo omugenzi olanya n'okuziikako omugenzi Paul Okech naye era twabiwuliramu mpola mpola ebibungesibwawo ebityo naye nze ndowooza tweddeko nga bannayuganda tuve mu mbeera zino ezitatuzimba nga tumaliriza kangendeko mu kikopo ekisinga ku lukalu luno lwa Africa ekikopo ekya Africa Cup of Nations edition eya 2023 wadde nga tugizanya mu 2024 COVID-19 yatuleetera ekizibu luli twalina gizanya mu 2020 ne tugizanya mu 2021 naye nga te AFCON 2020 kati tuli mu 2024 naye nga te AFCON gye tuli mu kuzanya 2023 AFCON yene enyumidde nnyo abadde bagiraba n'abadde bagigoberera mu mbeera eyo lwaki ensonga esinza okuba nga esituka nti teams zino entono ze waliise ttiimu entono ew'ennafu ku lukalu olwa Africa ate zivuddeyo nnyo ziraga nnyo amaanyi mu mbeera eyo ttiimu ze waliise ate ez'amaanyi ezirina amannya ate tezirina wooziraba mu mbeera eyo munzikirize ngendeko mu group stages oba ebibinja kati nga bwe biyimiridde mu group A ekibinja kino kikulembeddwa eggwanga erya Equatorial Guinea wetwogerera then kuddako Nigeria then kuliko Ivory Coast oba Cote d'Ivoire then neggwanga lino erya Guinea Bissau. Equatorial Guinea ne Nigeria balekanga abayiseemu bonna balina points 7 oluvannyuma lwa Equatorial Guinea okubanga ezenga eraga amaanyi. Equatorial Guinea yakubye Guinea Bissau yakubye Cote d'Ivoire olunaku lw'eggulo zaadde na ggoolo 4 naye yakuba ne Guinea Bissau mu machi yabwe yasooka okuggyako amaliri baagakola n'eggwanga lino erya Nigeria. Equatorial Guinea eraze amaanyi mangi goals zeekuba in fact top scorer ava mu ttiimu eyo wetwogera erina goals ziri 5 mu mbeera eyo. So group A Nigeria ye yayiseemu dda ate neggwanga lino erya Equatorial Guinea. So Ivory Coast ye tannaba kubanga ayitamu kuba Ivory Coast alina points 3 oba Cote d'Ivoire banno benjogerako abe bategesi b'ekikopo kino eky'omulundi guno gwennyini tebannaba kubanga bayitamu kubanga balina points 3 so bajja kusooka balabe ku best loser batera nnyo okulonda best loser oba omuntu owokusatu mu bibinja ebyo balondawo babiri abadde abokusatu naye nga bibadde basinga. In fact osanga balina points ezisingako ez'abannaabwe naye nga bamalidde mu kifo kya kusatu oba oluusi babeera ne goals ezisinga ez'abannaabwe. So Ivory Coast oba Cote d'Ivoire yo eri mu kusaba busabi etandise calculation za Uganda nti wetuba nga tuyiseewo wetufuna points esatu oba goal oli naafuna entono ate nalaine Misiri already alina points esatu Egypt. So kiraga egenda beera competition y'amaanyi okufuna the best loser mu mbeera naye wadde tosuubira eggwanga lino lya Cote d'Ivoire okubanga lina ebizibu ebiti. Cote d'Ivoire balina abasajja bakuba omupiira ogw'ensimbi balina basagyo Urie abasajja ab'amaanyi bwe waligambye nti nno bano mu lulimi olusoga be tuyita ababedde mu mbeera eyo naye ekintu kibatuddemu nnyo. Tugende ku group B. Cape Verde surprisinze bangi kuba yakulembedde kino ekibinja alina points 7 oluvannyuma lw'okukola amaliri eggulo n'eggwanga erya Egypt gadde gamaliri ga goolo 2-2. Ekibinja kino ekya group B kirimu Cape Verde, Egypt, Ghana ne Mozambique. Ghana ina points 2 ne Mozambique ina points 2 abo balayikanga abatulabyeko. Naye ate waliwo ne Egypt ono. Egypt ali mu kyakubiri alina points 3. Cape Verde abakulembedde alina points 7. Kyewaleero tusuubira Cape Verde ne mu rankings ezisinga mu Africa taliimu naye zena atu surprising mu edition eno. So ye yayiseemu dda ne Misiri ono oyinza ogamba yayiseemu kuba ali mu kifo kyakubiri mu mbeera eyo. So Ghana yagenda okubanga akituulamu n'eggwanga lino erya Mozambique. Ghana the Black Stars of Africa nabo kibatuddemu wadde balina abasajja abasambira omupiira gwabwe ogw'ensimbi mu mawanga ag'enjawulo. Tebayita na Thomas Partey okumanya balina abantu abawera naye mu mbeera eyo ekintu kibatuddemu. Group C Senegal erimu ne Guinea erimu ne Cameroon ne Gambia era nga kikwewuunyisa nti Guinea eri mu kyakubiri erina points 4. Senegal yayiseemu dda erina points 6. Cameroon ebiye bikyali bibi ina points 2 n'eggwanga lino erya Gambia lina points 0. Cameroon abasajja wali badde osuubira nti banene nnyo kubanga in fact edition eya 2021 sibe budget ka 2019 abe budget ka 2021 yali Algeria mu mbeera eyo. So olaba mbuno abasajja bano aba Cameroon nabo batu disappointing edition eno. So Senegal ye yayiseewo dda ate Senegal amaanyi alina mangi gayita mbaku basajja nga Sadio Mane ba Emmanuel Sarr abasajja bangi abali ku ggwanga erya Senegal bakuba omupiira omulungi. Group D mulimu Angola, mulimu Burkina Faso, mulimu Algeria, mulimu ne Mauritania. Algeria waliise one of the defending champions nabo bannange kibali bubi balina points ndoza ziri 3 zokka. Burkina Faso yalina 4 ne Angola ndoza bo abo balinze mupiira gwabwe ogusembayo gwe gujja okubanga gukakasanya n'abayiseemu. Ye Mauritania yatulabyeko dda. Algeria akyasobola oyitamu naye abalina okuwangula omupiira gwe ogusemberayo ddala. Tuinawo then Mali, then ne South Africa, then Namibia n'eggwanga erya Tunisia. Tunisia be bamu ku banene ku continent nayo twogerera nga balina point yemu bo balayika batulabyeko mu edition eno mpozi nga bakoze ekyamagero ne bawangula omupiira gwabwe ate ne basaba nti either Mali oba South Africa bamukuba omupiira wadde nga ate zino tiimu ziraze nti amaanyi zina mangi. Tiimu ya Mali yatujjamu fe aba Uganda mu qualifiers. Basajja bano amaanyi balina mangi nnyo balina points 4. South Africa bafana bakiwangula mu mwaka gwa 1996 nabo amaanyi toyizo gamba tebalina mangi nnyo bafana babulamu naye Namibia ate yetushokinze. Namibia ino mupiira ina average y'abaana ba myaka nga 23 naye abaana basambira ddala omupiira omulungi ddala. So Namibia is one team to look out for n'eggwanga lino erya Cape Verde nga tuyinza okuba nga tufuna shock winners of the AFCON. Nze natiipinze dda Cape Verde ku mupiira gwe basamba nze mbalaba nga bayinza okuba nga basambira ddala paka ku finals. Then Morocco, DRC, Zambia ne Tanzania. Tanzania kyasembyeyo mu kibinja kino alina point emu yokka yasobodde kubanga ajijja ku ggwanga lino erya Zambia we yagudde amaliri mu mupiira gwabwe ogwasembyeyo. Morocco yakyakulembedde alina points 4, DRC alina points 2, Zambia alina points 2 ne Tanzania alina point emu. That means wano wakyaliwo abantu abakyasobola okubanga bayitawo bonna nga bali bakyasobola okubanga bayitawo okubanga beesogga round edda. Ku AFCON yatunyumidde nnyo goals nyingi nnyo oyinza okulaba nga tewali na in fact tewali muntu tewali game yawedde nga omupiira gwedde 0-0 kitegeeza abasajja bateebira ddala goolo baatakingira ddala omupiira gunyumira ddala era mu abatagulaba ndooza wali badde otandika okuba nga onyumirwa AFCON kubanga atunyumidde ddala ali wali mu ggwanga erya Cote d'Ivoire naffe twesunze nno mu 2027 wano mu Kampala Uganda tujja kuba nga tutegeka empaka za Africa Cup of Nations naye of course tujja kikola feka tujja kikola n'abasajja bali ba Kenya n'abasajja ba Tanzania 2027 twesunze wadde nga bamaze dde okuba nga batusaba ssente ez'okutandika ebisaawe ebibiri bye tulina okuba nga tuzimba okwetegekera ekikopo kino ekya Africa Cup of Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, muzikirize ngende mu kuwumulako ku dakika 42 ezakayita ku ssaawa 2 ez'okumakya alina Counsel Tumusiime yagenda okuba nga atwegattako Kato agenda kutwegattako tunyumyemu emboozi naye n'omukyala Farida paka ku ssaawa 4 ez'akalasamayanzi. Eno ye Digital TV, nze Edgar Mathew Karuhanga.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Looking for a pair of shoes? Les Up Stores has a wide range of selection for unisex footwear. We have the best quality of all brands at pocket-friendly prices, and we make deliveries countrywide. Just place your order or reach us on 0772 08 0090. You can also check up at Les Up Stores on all our social media platforms. Les Up, craft your own footprints. Hi Rogers, can I ask you something?
Shoot.
What does corruption mean?
Well, summarily, corruption is abuse of public power for personal gain or for the benefit of a group to which one owes allegiance. For example, when a public office is abused by an official accepting or soliciting a bribe. By the way, private people can be corrupt too, like bribing police officers to escape fines.
Okay. So exactly how does that concern me?
Well, do you pay taxes?
I guess, yeah. What does that have to do with this?
Everything. Because those taxes you pay are supposed to facilitate services you use, like water, electricity, roads construction, medicines in hospitals, name it.
Okay, that is much bigger than I thought. But it can be stopped, right?
Well, yes it can, although it may not be as easy as it sounds. And here is the reason why. Corruption roots are grounded in our country's social, political, economic, bureaucratic traditions and policies.
So, what has kept it going this long? I mean, why don't we stop it?
Well, the main reason why it has been here for so long is because institutions are weak, either as a result of poorly defined ethical standards of public service, weak administrative and financial systems, or ineffective watchdog agencies.
What can we do to stop it?
At a national level, we must focus on strengthening the independence and effectiveness of public institutions that fight corruption. At a personal level, we must commit to never giving a bribe.
I promise I'll never give a bribe.
Well, that's a great decision you have made. Me and you now have to spread this message to all our friends. If we all do our part, corruption will be normal.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digital.
Onaba wakolo atabe kula bonita abiri munana kuno mwezi tuliawo kula bonita bambi tukubukinze ololuna kutukwesose omuwagizi botuwetaga era tukwesunga tusoka nabato kuyingira mutwalo January 28 ate main show ebiri kwetano tebo ya tano charite concert eno yansonga lwatunyumirwa kuobokera tugenda kubasesa kuwulira bubi nnyo kono
Yuagidwa, the phone service center Chiraka, Afro Mobile, Success Motors, and Med Recruitment Agency Limited.
Hymns before.
It's in Salune Chanja, it's a new TV.
Why any people?
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Welcome back from that short commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. You're still tuned in to Digitalk TV. This is the Mighty Drive. It airs every Monday to Friday, starting from 8 to 10 a.m. We're always here having a conversation with you, trying to look at Uganda and, of course, paint a picture for the future of Uganda. How better can it be? Or, of course, how can we be different from our predecessors? I've been joined by a lady and gentleman. The lady is dressed in green. You look like a plant. You look like these banana plantations they were planting.
Those banana plantations, by the way, made an impact.
They did. Because I'm seeing in
Though there are threats already. Threats already.
Of course, they have to be there. We shall be talking about that. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me welcome Farida. Good morning. You look smart. Welcome to the Mighty Drive.
Thank you, Edgar. Good morning.
Good morning to you too.
How's your night?
Fantastic.
I'm happy to join you here on the Mighty Drive. Very good morning to our viewers on the Alternative Uganda and Digitalk TV pages on Facebook. Farida Bikobere is my name. Bully Monday and Tuesday, Mbera on Edgar Mathew Karuhanga here, discussing issues of national importance. Today in the studios we have Counsel Kato Tumusiime. We are going to be discussing the impact of NAM and G77. Yesterday we had a politician, Atayaga Dekogera, any positive thing about NAM and G77 and China. So today we have a council, so we are going to be looking at the impact. Could be the negative, could be the positive impacts, but there must be positive impacts of the NAM and G77. So ngenda kukubiriza nyonyo bereko nyo sagala kogera luzungu lukugobenja kubanja ogera Luganda ebintu bino tubitegere bulungi nnyo. So ngenda kukubiriza nnyo. We are live on the Alternative Uganda ku YouTube. Lero tetukoledde ku Facebook. Gendo tunonyeyo ku YouTube. We are live osobola okubanga ate show yaffe ekunyumira bulungi nnyo. Later on in the day, tugenda kubanga ate show eno tugiza ku Facebook. Abana abatulabye ku YouTube mujja kubanga ate muginyulira bulungi nnyo ku Facebook. Ebintu ebya kalimagezi ebyuma bya kalimagezi bimanyi okwekyanga so ebyekyanga you get a solution esobola okubanga ate tugenda maaso. Our quote of the day before I invite the guest is, he who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. Gwengo oyina obulamu oyina kuba n'essuubi, ate bw'obanga oyina essuubi you have everything. He who doesn't have hope, gwe munnange, you are as useful as the dead person. Kubanga oba toyina ssuubi, ensi eno oba toyina ky'ojagaza yadde omukulu Epasi amanyi okutugamba kwegulumiza buli kaseera, beera nga weegulumiza oba embeera ekunyiga weegulumize, otherwise ensi naddala January emanyi okunyiganyiga, but this January has been short. One of the shortest Januaries in the history of Januaries.
To you,
it hasn't been too
hot. There are legends that are decrying it.
For sure, it hasn't been too hot and it hasn't been long. Though it has 5 weeks anyways, by the way. Good morning, Counsel.
Good morning, Farida. Good morning, Edgar.
Good morning to you,
Good to be here once again, and I think I've not been here in the new year.
Yeah.
New year, Happy New Year to Wajiva Koka.
Happy
New Year of you.
Okay, tunatuka ku Valentine's.
And I'm happy to be here once again in 2024.
Yes,
I always give my mind and opinions about different people and how they are treating us as Ugandans. Kato Tumusiime is my name.
How's the new year for you?
The new year is fairly okay, I should say. However much the economy is still worrying. As we always know, January isn't easy for business people. Like the economy in January treats us differently, like any other month, I should say.
Okay.
Because the people are planning for so many things. Remember, they have just come up from the festive seasons. They have done a lot of spendings, and they are now planning to take their kids back to school. February is just
one man one side, one wise man one side, that if men could learn from history, we would be living in paradise. So this applies to the people who keep crying in January. I mean, you knew in September that would be January. Why did you prepare?
But there are circumstances that cannot be
that are beyond your control.
That are beyond your control. Because in most cases, Farida, I should say, and this is practical, that most of the people who are salary earners, their salary almost comes around 19th, 18th
Because
December.
you will cry, they have not paid us. We don't know how we are going to go through the festive
and
season.
remember, most of the people face a lot of pressures from their families, from their spouses, from their girlfriends and boyfriends, because they want to have that kind of feel in Christmas seasons and the New Year. Most of them want to take it as celebrations.
It is a celebration.
You celebrate paka kuwulira bubi. And after the kuwulira bubi, then that's when you will face a harsh January. And you have also many things that you want. And you start to assuming so many things that you had the perspective to do in January, and you have no access to any single coin or finances are so down. Your bank account balance is like a crock now. It is like a radio station, and you start worrying a lot.
I think it is time people need to change the narrative about January.
Exactly, yes.
You need to prepare for January.
That's the thing.
It takes about preparing
and discipline
and knowing
how you have to people cry about January. It is
that is one thing I've realized is
people keep crying about January.
There are few that cry.
But the crying
in this country.
No, it is
people
not
in this
few.
country are okay.
Just say
Farida,
the majority cry.
The crying is different. The crying is different because not all people can cry the same way. You understand? Yes, some are crying that they have little money, and some are crying that they don't have any money completely. So the crying is a little different.
But it is all crying.
But
anyway.
Counsel, this new year comes with some few things. Some we expected them. For example, the corruption has spilled into 2024.
Yes, it hasn't changed.
People are stealing coffee money of Ugandans. We shall be maybe highlighting on that. But before even do that, we lost a legislator, senior citizen of this country, Dokolo, member of parliament, has former leader of opposition. This lady has been big, Cecilia Ogwal. We lost her due to cancer last week. Do you have anything to talk about this lady?
Now, maybe because you have brought it, I have to talk about it. But I would say it's so sad that we lost the Ugandan. The Ugandan that didn't even die in this country, a Ugandan that has suffered and battled cancer for a long time. It's sad because the first news that broke up, we are showing that she died actually in Murago. Then
By
later
the way,
on,
and then
I saw the receiving of the body and all that, and of course it didn't shock me because that's how leaders are treating us in this country. They fail to understand that there is a need in this country, that our heritage system should be put to the maximum so that each and everybody doesn't need to be rushed to India for treatment of cancer. Because this cancer has not just erupted yesterday. That's why we have been having cancer patients. Even the big wigs in this government have battled cancer. And the problem is that they cannot understand, maybe because they are comfortable in their zones and they know that they can afford maybe to be lifted to India for that kind of treatment, and sometimes they make it and come back when they are alive. But this is not the first Ugandan that we receive in the cargo plane. Just
even the late Jacob Olanya passed on.
Yes, and my issue is some of these leaders have been in power for so long. The foreign legislator was in power since '96.
In fact, 89
actually. She has been so crucial in the politics of this country. But surprisingly, with the power she has had, the way people are even trying to praise her, I've not seen people praise her when she was alive. And that's why I said maybe I don't have anything to add, because I did not get an opportunity to say thank you for the good work you have done if she did good.
Isn't it hypocritical that
it is
people
very
in opposition are clinging on their position? They don't want to give them away. But still, they are
you
fighting
get.
Museveni, who is also in his
These
position
are
that he
people,
doesn't want to give
these
it
are
away.
people that have been in that house for years and terms, and they are here crying that President Museveni has been leading
overstayed.
us forever.
But they have
Yes, but
why
most of
they,
them have spent
some
over 20
say
years.
why they have been
And
in
you can
parliament for
mention
that
them.
long.
Talk about the former speaker.
Some say
First
that
Prime
they are there.
Rebecca Kadaga has been in power since
Kadaga has
96.
overstayed in that
You understand?
position.
There are so many.
Yes, but some
And-
say that they are
and-
also fighting President Museveni for all that time. They have also been trying to get
But
him
you
out.
see-
Because how can
You
they
see,
leave
Edgar,
when this person is
before
still
you
there?
come to tell me that I have a
Respect.
rogue in my eye, first look at yours. Are you clean? Because we always say that he who comes to Equity must come with clean hands. You cannot come to Equity and then you come with your blood on the hands and then
So
you
all
want
of them
Equity.
should go.
Exactly. And I'm in fact, but the problem is that we have selfish leaders in that parliament. The people that would have helped us actually pass some of the bills so that they can cater for such kind of term limits on themselves. And then even they can look at the big seats like the presidency, have no interest in that. Because they know that if they bring such kind of legislation, then they will lose it all.
Yeah.
You get my point? We have seats, they are called the marginalized groups. Women, district, women, member of parliament. We have had people that have held that seat for over 20 years. And are they still
They are
marginalized?
having those affirmative positions for a long
Yes.
time.
Are they still marginalized? Do they need still that kind of affirmative action? Does that still serve the purpose of affirmative action? Because I would have expected the foreign MP to have left power. I think the maximum would have been 2011. Go home, rest, battle your diseases. Because
Mentor
you have
other
already
young
mentor
girls.
other young people so that they can come. You understand?
Yes.
You'd be a good example to the rest. If you are preaching good,
Water?
then do good.
Don't drink soda.
Don't preach heaven and then practice hell. That's why I'm not happy with so many of you. But it's sad that we have lost her.
But
I
this is
think
a
this should be
systematic
an
issue,
example
really.
that the rest of the readers should learn. We had a speaker who died where he was. You understand? Because of the same issues. Because they feel that the RSS system here cannot contain their sicknesses.
Yeah.
Instead of investing in it, they use the little money that could have helped actually to bring maybe a cancer diagnosis machine in Marago. And that's the money that they used to be transported to India or UK or everywhere or US for such kind of treatments.
And they are the
I
people
am imagining that the rest of the people who are going to attend this burial should learn that next time maybe you would be in a fix where you cannot even afford to be lifted for that kind of treatment. Why can't we do it here? If people run to
Because
Kenya
there's a
for
Ugandan
treatment,
also.
if people
Ugandan
run to
cannot
Kenya
afford
for
to go
such
to
kind of
India.
treatment, why can't they bring all
Kenya
that
wana
money
Nairobi.
and
No, wagenda Aga
Uganda
Khan in
na
Nairobi.
everyone.
How many Ugandans can even afford to
get my point? They should prioritize our health system here so that we can afford. Every Ugandan deserves to afford any kind of health treatment in Uganda. Because not everybody can afford to be lifted for such kind of a treatment. That's why I feel bad for them, and they will be there just crying and saying she's a hero, she's a hero. Which hero? Who runs away from their country and they have to die anywhere? They have been in power, big positions that can have influence in changing the health systems in this country, but they have done nothing. So which kind of a hero is that? These are the same people who will come and teach us how to run our country. You understand?
Yeah.
And what they do, does it portray the same image? It doesn't. Patriotism should start with you yourself.
Mubuwangwa bwa Africa omufute bamwogerako bibiri.
Anti kategori bikyasinze okubonona n'ekibi kyogere ng'ekibi omuntu afudde siriimu and people want to cover it up nedda bamuloze abadde alina liver issues and that's the problem. No, mukyogere so that abadde bakukuta naye bamanye batandike eddagala so that we save lives.
Counsel, eddagala bagenda ditandika. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, your submissions have shocked me, but they sound accurate, really. The question is, are they true? Because to what extent is what power does one legislator have in influencing a systematic issue?
But have you heard about what other legislators have been talking about her? How she has been an example to the House?
Yes, she was candid.
How she was able to actually mediate and bring all the sides on one plate.
She has been the one who's...
Why did she
be
use...
able
It means
to
she had
influence
influence in
people
that
to
house.
demand
Why
for
did she
better
use
medical
that kind of
services
power, that kind of knowledge, that kind of respect, that kind of everything to also bring the same members of
pressure
parliament so
on-
that they can work on our health system? Not even health itself, education itself. Because most of these MPs, their children are not studying from here.
They don't.
That's why they don't want to even care about what happens in our local schools here. Where your son, my son, and our son or daughter will go for education. And at the end of it all, their sons from wherever they will be, they will come and we have to compete for the same jobs.
Yes.
You understand?
And somehow toyina engeri gye kitugulumizamu ng'omuntu afiiridde ebweru ne bamwaniriza mu bitiibwa. And then I'm like, we should be feeling ashamed.
Should be feeling ashamed.
Tetulina facilities zisobola kujjanjaba muntu andi yagenze bweru n'afiirwa.
Nekyo tekyewuunyisa. This is
We should
Africa.
be feeling
No, we
ashamed.
should be
And the
feeling
problem
ashamed.
is that most people don't want to talk about such kind of issues because they see when somebody has died, then don't talk bad about her. But if she has been doing bad or good, to you get it so that the rest can learn. You see, omuntu bwafa ne bamwogerera byakoze bwaba mubbi ne bagamba nti oyo ekimusiza bubbi bamukubye nga ali mukubba. You understand? Then the next thief will at least change a little bit. Naye sagala kufa ng'oli. You get? But when they just want to cover abadde akola mirimu gye nga bulijjo abazigu ne bamutiddewa, you should always talk the reality.
So others will also feel comfortable the numbers nti kanange
They can
kanneegumize
also
ku
learn.
kifo
You
kyange
understand?
olaba oli tebamukondeminga nti yalwako ebbanga ddene.
That's
Because
all
the
sorts of
numbers
the
are
problems,
aluddeyo
Edgar, because people don't want to
should be
talk
getting
about the
out
reality.
okuleka abaana abalala bajje.
Talk about the truth as it is, because at the end of it all, it will set us free.
Okay, the truth we have now is that they are going to be charging the people who planted the banana plantations in the roads. The good thing about this was that these roads have started, construction has started over these roads. One in along Dr. Besige's home road,
Yes,
where he planted, they have already
Karuhanga.
started, yes. Where is this legally? How legally binding can police be to charge these people for that? Is it unlawful, really?
You know, what made me happy is that whenever they planted that chitoke, at least roadworks have started. It means that the government has the capacity to actually fix these roads, but they want pressure from us, the people. You understand? The regime has been so comfortable in power that not until you assert such kind of pressure, then they can listen to our cries, they can listen to our problems. You understand? It all started here when they started such kind of exhibitions. You remember Mkwano road, that terrible road. When the exhibitions were high, people started working on the same road. If you pass there, you can be happy about it at least. We were seeing Bechitoke the following morning, road construction started. What I am happy about is that the government has taken it as a serious issue and that needs a serious attention. And I'm so happy about that. What I should tell you, because I've not heard about which charges they will prefer against these people that were demonstrating, because the law is clear, the constitution is clear, it gives us all that kind of freedom so that we can show our discontent, as long as it is peaceful. Oli yapudde waka n'ekitooke kye n'akisimba mu kinnya. And his issue is telling you that fix this road, this pothole. You had, I think, in a few days, a medical officer in Rukunjiri who hit a pothole and died.
Yes, yes.
You understand? So until we come out to talk about such issues that are affecting us, then the government will not listen. Secondly, I saw it was the same news, the same week, where the police was trying to disperse people who were planting the toke in the roads and the pothole. It came with its vehicle as they were chasing out the people, then their vehicle also fell in a ditch. At the end of it all, it couldn't even leave the ditch. You understand? So that people come out slowly, one by one, as they talk about the problems that affect us as Ugandans. The problem is that some people feel that they are beyond the problems that we are talking about already. And then at the end of it all, it will be your son, your daughter, or your father, or your family member, or your friend, or even yourself, to be a victim of that pothole itself. Because ojja kikuba ofiiraawo oba bakuddusa mu ddwaliro and maybe the ambulance will not leave that ditch and you will die there. Because you stopped people who were trying to advocate for what is good. Because you wanted to show power, because you wanted maybe favors, maybe because he wanted promotions and the rest.
But what does it speak of the government that really has to wait for people to protest, to try to show their grievances before they actually do something? Even I want you to even bring it for a bigger picture. Even the roads that have been constructed, they have been constructed because of the guests.
Yes.
It's not because of Counsel Kato who pays the tax. A guest is coming, so we need to make this road look more beautiful, look more comfortable. What does this speak of the kind of government we have today, or leadership?
The problem we have is that as the taxpayers, we are not respected at all. We have settings in this country and groups, the classes, I should make them. We have those people that are very comfortable and okay, the ruling class. And remember, the ruling class doesn't go alone. It has the relatives in there, it has the daughters, the sons, and the rest. So it's a big group that are in the ruling class. Then we have us, the ruled. So us, the ruled, overcharged the taxes. We are the people who feel the pinch of that tax. If you are an Enox, you are done now. That's when you will know that you have not been living in this Uganda alone. You understand?
Yes.
And the people that are supposed to pay the biggest taxes, because they are the biggest earners, are given tax exemptions. You understand? Tax holidays and the rest. The problem is, because these people don't face the same challenges we face, because the minister doesn't drive the same car Edgar drives.
Of course.
Same car I drive. So the way I feel that pothole on the road
One is seated on
not
a
the
Gazla.
same way the minister will feel that pothole. Not until they face the same challenges we face, like we go through them each and every day. That's when they will give us the attention that we deserve. Because at the end of it all, we shall be at the same eco fitting, facing the same challenges, facing the same expenses if your car breaks down because of hitting a pothole. And plus the fact that the government favors itself, because at the end of it all, an MP will only drive that vehicle for 200 and I don't know how much millions, and he knows that after every 5 months, if he wins, he will get a new car, so he will not care about what happened to this one. So they don't really care about what we go through as Ugandans. Secondly, most of these people have allowances. You find that the government has garages that fix its cars.
Yes.
Free of charge.
You don't even invest
So they
in
don't
it.
want to care. They don't feel the pinch. But as I've told you, if such a minister or an MP or call him a councillor or chairman loses somebody because of a pothole, maybe an accident has happened, that's when they will understand that actually fixing these roads is to our help and benefit. You understand? Not until they start feeling what we feel as common Ugandans, then we can have that kind of life that puts us on the same gauge, and then maybe services can be provided at no cost without even first going to demonstrate and show our discontent.
But it feels like they don't. They don't feel. Mpanga said that we need to create, to develop a central nervous system to feel each other's pain. But these folks, time and again, Counsel, you've talked about these things. Many people have talked about these things, but it feels like they don't feel.
Yeah, we have talked about them, but now it is not.
We're celebrating 38 years now.
It is not a surprise at some point, because we are dealing with a government that is led by revolutionaries, as they call themselves. These are people who defied, first of all, the legitimate regime that was there. Then they were promising to bring something that is pro-people, something that will work for the people, even promulgated the constitution, and so many other laws. And we believed that actually they would follow what they had brought in place. You understand? And leave it all. If you cannot respect the same constitution you promulgated, you formulated, you brought, introduced to the people, that's your role. If you cannot respect that, then what do we expect from you? It means that they still have that kind of sense and that kind of feeling that unless people maybe make a right, unless people maybe demonstrate, then they haven't felt the pinch of every pain that we are seeing.
So that means
maybe that's the language that they want to
for
understand.
every
that
problem
they want
that
to
we are
hear.
facing, we should go to the streets.
Yeah, because every problem that takes people to the street, then the government
is
will
worked
react.
upon.
You understand? It means that's the only language they can understand. And when you always give people ways of how to show that there is a problem that needs to be fixed, and actually when they do it, that's when you can react. Then we shall adopt to that kind of formula.
Or what they reacted because we have guests around. Corby.
Yeah, because that trend is also
that's also
so quick.
possible. That's also possible. That we had guests around and they didn't want them to see all this happening. But I think we can always use this kind of opportunity that the guests are here. So let us actually start these kind of exhibitions. We exhibit our bad hospitals, we exhibit our bad schools in their terrible state, we exhibit our bad roads, so the government can react immediately before these guests can go. Because I have a feeling that after the guests have gone, tujja kubeera mu mbeera nga gye tubaddemu, tujja kuddayo mu reset awo tuddeyo ku zero and nothing.
Well, it's you guys who always look out for the bad. Because you've never flagged anything that is good. We always flag what is not working in this country. And there are things that are working, really.
But you have the mandate to do us all these services. The social services must be brought to us by the government that we elected and the government that we believe in, because it's now in charge of this country. So why should we thank you for doing what you are supposed to do? You're actually doing your mandate. Why should we give you thanks for doing what you're supposed to do? Edgar, you are a host here at Digital. You have called me, I have kept time, I am here for the show. Should I thank you thank you for coming here and hosting the show? Because you are meant to do that. You understand? If you are a driver, if you are a teacher in a primary school, you are paid to teach at a primary school. I come, Kato, I find you at the school teaching. Should I thank you for teaching? Because that's your duty, that's your job. You get my point? Yes. So it's a mandate of the government to deliver these social services as to the people. Because it's responsibility. You understand? It's their duty to deliver. Why should we thank them for building a good road? The road that is actually built and constructed on our taxes that we pay. Hard-earned money, pay it.
And inflated at that.
Why should we thank it for actually putting maybe road signs on the road? That they have planted old flowers that are even dry. Should we thank them for that? Isn't it their mandate to beautify the city? After all, we are looking at a green city 2025. It's just next year.
Exactly.
You understand? Why should we thank it for doing what it is supposed to be doing? It's fulfilling its mandate. They have brought a number of slogans and campaign themes. This is securing our future. So when you are securing our future, why should we thank you that you are securing our future? Why?
Okay, should we thank the opposition? Are they doing something at least?
No, why do you thank them? It's because it's their mandate.
No,
most of these opposition leaders are also part of the government. Some of them are councillors, some of them are MPs.
The opposition has stood their ground. They have advocated for people who have been lost. There's new leadership in parliament as we speak. They are doing these activities that are bringing in change. We should thank the opposition. Retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besja and Bobby Wine.
Of course, people who don't have leadership positions in the government should be thanked because it's not their mandate to advocate and demand for some things to be done, social services to be delivered. But the people who are being paid by our taxes, taxpayers' money, and we thank the leader of opposition that he has come up to claim for the release of political prisoners. What else should they have
be doing?
What else? Because he's earning a lot of money. Do you know how much is spent on the leader of opposition on a daily basis?
His
you know that
his office is what, 15 billion?
Do you know
billion? I think 12 billion around
the budget he holds as a leader of opposition. So
12 billion.
Should we thank him that he has come up? Actually, we should be blaming him for failing us as Ugandans. Using that budget, it should have created an impact on me and you, Edgar, and even the local person down there. At least in advocating for social services to be delivered closer to the people, and not simply delivering them, but they should be of good quality and serve the purpose that it is meant to serve. We shouldn't thank them for doing what they are supposed to do. So if they have not done that, what do we expect from them? To go there and make noise? Is it their mandate? So when they go on the floor of parliament and they introduce a bill, should we thank them? What's their role?
That's their role.
What's their duty? The problem is that most Ugandans don't want to hear this. And some of them may be angry because I've said it. But don't thank somebody who has done what they are supposed to do. Don't.
No, because we have a mindset that they are helping us. No, that's why you always have that thing of
when I am paying you, after paying my taxes, that's why you get your salary. Haven't you seen them cry here that their salaries have delayed? Where do they get the salary from? From my tax, from your tax, from her tax. So, If they can cry that their salaries have delayed, why should we thank them that they have delivered what we are supposed to receive from them? Because that's why we are paying them for.
Okay.
If there is no pay, it means they have nothing to do to offer to us. Yeah. Instead, we should be demanding for more, because I feel that at some point they haven't reached a level of delivering what they are supposed to do according to their mandate. That's a fact.
Okay, I get you. Those are words of Counsel Kato Tumusiime. Very, very candid words that you may think. How do you create a mindset change? Because there's a problem of the mind in this country. Firstly, the leaders themselves who think that they're helping Ugandans. By, for example, the Parish Development Medal. We're giving you $1 million each. We are helping you. And then even the recipients, the taxpayers, the wananchi, you also believe they are helping us. How do you create a mindset change? You've hinted about these things. First of all, stop thanking, and this is their duty.
Demand.
But how do we actually create a mindset change that is going to change the politics of this country?
You start wondering when you see a country that is going to host about, I think there are about 4. Because we had the one for speakers, and we had NAM, we had IGAD,
and
G77 plus China. But you start wondering to see a country that did not know yesterday that they had this kind of meetings, 4 of them, with big numbers, with big dignitaries. And the country issues a statement in the newspaper, the national newspaper, that it has to make a training of its ministers on how they have to behave. In such kind of conferences, surely you start wondering on such kind of a country, and at some point maybe it did not shock me, because we have a cabinet of fishermen and women. You understand? Now what do you expect from that? Secondly, I believe the issue of mindset change should be something that starts from your family itself.
Exactly.
Because the way you raise your kids, you will determine how they will live with the rest of the people they meet around. Because we all come from different families. We were all brought on different setups from our family.
Yes.
But the way you start understanding the behavior of a person, in fact, I don't judge people for their behavior before I can actually see their homes and how they were brought up.
That's not fair.
Yes.
No, some people adopt behaviors that are not from their homes, by the way. Edgar.
Let me tell you.
Yes, that's why I said I cannot blame you, I cannot judge you for your behavior before I can understand
that has been sold
where
to you at 1
from.
year. It's very difficult for you to run away from that seed. So that means it's who you are. It's who you are. That's whoever fanane one. Charity begins at home.
You get. So the issue of mindset change, if we don't have families that have built themselves on creating a positive mind in their children, then we shall have a country that is full wasted, because we shall not have people that have clear understanding of how they should treat things differently, because this is not in their DNA. They were not brought with such kind of behavior, and they have entirely no idea about what's happening in such kind of life. You get? So
this corruption problem is a systematic problem also.
It's systematically generated, because you live a country where we have what should I call it, a corporation, like the IGG, an entity, full entity that is meant to actually keep the government in check about corruption scandals, embezzlement, and talk about them. But where an entity comes up and pinpoints maybe Edgar is involved in a scandal of corruption. This is how much we believe Edgar has
taken
misused. And the president comes and says, the president was the fountain of honor, the commander-in-chief. There's so many names that you can tell, that you can call him. He comes and tells you, please, IGG.
Leave my people.
Pole.
They will
These are my people. At least they steal and invest here.
They will take it away.
So when you hear such kind of a statement, Edgar, and maybe you have access to about
don't touch the army. Don't touch the army. That's what.
And you have access to a certain amount of money. What will you do to that? Because at the end of it all, the president has given you a go ahead. Please, as long as you invest here, I have no problem with you. So the system itself breeds a group of people that also have the same kind of behavior and character. Because they are copying from the
But these days the stealing is with impunity. Because now, for example, the coffee scam, how can people just take money just like that?
It is with impunity.
People distribute it among themselves.
Because that's what the leaders have decided.
The same thing that happened in the Mavati issue.
That's how they
also
have decided to treat it. At the end of it all, Edgar, and I've always said it so many times, in all scandals that happen, we always have what we call the sacrificial lamb.
Yes.
It is always
one who will die for the
TT. Who will die for the rest, and the scandal will end up just like that. You can talk about the scandals that you have had in
Chogam, it was Bukenya.
One of them must be sacrificed and the rest will just jubilate.
Kitutu
off. And you will see how the
She even actually came out and apologized. I don't know how that works legally because there is a court case where this person is charged, but she comes out and says, President, I apologize.
Yeah, you can apologize, but the courts are still going on.
No, but I'm saying, isn't that professing that you are guilty?
Of course, but we treat it differently under the law. Because the confession must take a certain procedures. If you want to confess that I actually did this, then there are procedures that you must follow. So that it can.
But police say
yari anonya public sympathy, anonya what we normally call damage control. You are looking for that damage. In
fact, yetonde ya Uganda, yetonde ya president, not the Uganda.
Because maybe she's looking about the pardon and the mercy of the president to be worked upon him, because the president now has shown that in this country, if you want something to be done in a way, call it on the judiciary, call it on the legislature, call it on the it's a matter of order. I've seen so many cheats being written to the judiciary. Stop the selling of the Muslim land and
yet
the following day we had a ruling on the same. The Court of Appeal issued a ruling stopping the sale and attachment of that old Kampala mosque. You understand? And so many. You had him quarrel with the Chief Justice about how he can accept something to happen in a way he believes that needs common sense.
He said logic.
Logic and common
court
sense.
should use logic. So and I don't know how to quantify logic. So
I also don't know, because some of the things.
Because now I feel the president is becoming the law.
I sit sometimes and wonder if actually the Attorney General advises the president on some issues that are about the law. I wonder. Because you look at a letter and you be like, okay, now here we are. And
but is he advisable himself? Akirizo kumuwabula.
I was imagine because
legally amateka watagamanya bayino.
Because I'm not tempted to advise him
because
so that I can
hear. Decision on behalf of the court. Namba walibadde okusala oti no manya ati guno muzigiti
bayina gutunda.
Nyatengo muzigiti gogamba oluwe yagenda n'afuna loan n'agusingayo.
Exactly.
So tetuna kati ono yetu mugambe ki, because they are also a party, they also have a right to this. They gave you money gono musingiro muzigiti.
Yeah, but that's the kind of behavior I was telling you that. Now, since that was done on the Muslim side, kachitegeza nawe katuliki bagenda vayo basingeyo ekelezia tubaka, because they know it will not be attached. The president will write and they will say don't sell. Nabarara. So it will become a habit. That's how we have grown now this kind of people. Bakora bebagara tebefira because they know they have somebody on their back at the end of it all. If the chicken that barrier.
And this somebody is still the common denominator, because let's even talk about the pardons you've mentioned. The president has pardoned recently Jamwa and most of his colleagues, I would love to say. Because the list had most of his colleagues who were charged with him. They were pardoned by the president. And Ugandans are asking themselves, okay, now what is the criteria followed when pardoning people? Do they bring back the money that was embezzled, misused, misappropriated? Or President Wawakusonye?
You see, the Constitution gives the president a mandate, that power to pardon. But now the president doesn't work alone.
Yes.
Because he has that kind of committee.
A committee, headed by the Attorney General. Yeah, it is headed by the Attorney General, yes.
So, what normally happens is they take a number of things in consideration. Maybe the offense you are charged with, maybe the period you have spent on remand, maybe the behavior, how you have behaved in prison. Have you been remorseful? Because if you are remorseful, most of the people tend to have mercy. You understand? And then that's where the forgiveness comes in.
Okay.
And these people petition the president for that kind of
Pardon.
For the president to
prerogative
pardon
of
them.
mercy, yes. Presidential pardon. And I believe there are a number of petitions.
Who qualifies
on
to
the
be
same.
pardoned by the president? Any prisoner?
In the prison can just petition the president for that pardon. You understand?
Yes.
Because it's a presidential mercy. So when the committee sits, then they look at the petitions, they put on some of the consideration I've talked about, the behavior, you are remorseful, time of conviction, time spent at... So many things that they consider. Now it's upon them to decide now Edgar is pardoned, this one is pardoned, this one is pardoned. So there are a number of considerations.
But Counsel, this constitution gave the president a lot of power, don't you think?
Yeah. Of course, it gave him a lot of power. But now, it's supposed to be done to the parliament itself, the legislature,
That
to keep
checks
him
the
in
power.
check. To keep him in check. Because if they feel that's not how it should be done, then they have all the mandate and the capacity to amend such kind of an article. So they put something that benefits you and me. It shouldn't be... We shouldn't all be living on the mercy of one man. You understand? And we have so many people that don't believe in his acts and how he behaves, how he treats his power. So many of us don't believe in how he handles that kind of power. But he's the one now in charge of everything. If Kato now is arrested, maybe his opposition, maybe he has disagreed with the president on so many things, then he cannot be pardoned because there are issues that have to be resolved.
Exactly.
Now, if we have this whole parliament and you are thanking them for doing whatever they are doing, Edgar, and they cannot assess that and see that there is need to be changed, maybe we should put an independent body that should have the power to pardon people. You understand? So that we avoid taking sides, so that we avoid this kind of all bias. If we have it now, why should we thank them? For what?
Yeah.
Do we have so many
Because one would
people in
wonder-
that parliament, so many lawyers, senior lawyers, they cannot assess that and see that there is need actually on such kind of provisions of the law. Not even that one alone. So many, where the president has the power to appoint the electoral commission. Same electoral commission that will actually
That's where I was coming.
read and conduct the elections. That you, Farida, who is against President Museveni, you will participate in the same election. We have them in parliament.
But you see, now
Some of them have been there for 20, 30, 25 years in that parliament, and nobody has ever talked about that. Now why should we thank them? That they are members of parliament?
because now that's the issue.
Good are they to
the
us?
new leadership for
The same people would be the ones to come on board.
Baludemo parliament that are doing good.
Yes, of course, good, but it should be. We should
Yes,
be considering.
Alundeyo, we
Yes, some
agree,
of the
but
things they have done good, but some of them have just been there to sleep. Some of them have just been there to sleep and enjoy their Saturday and maybe.
You are allowed to mention names, Counsel.
most of them are
And maybe wait for the press for the Edgars in the corridors, and that's when they will come back. We shall
they
take
start
this
giving
country
their-
and
But then-
ABCD and the rest.
Counsel, people who do not want this, because I'm coming back to the Electoral Commission, the leadership, at least on record, these are members of the National Resistance Movement, and it is on record. And many people are saying this should not be working out. The opposition has already decried this, but this is a problem we even have. We look at the Chief Justice today. He is the former lawyer of the president, personal lawyer of the president. So these things, what should the people do in order to address such an issue? Do we need to write somewhere? Can we talk to court to annul this? Because this already shows that the leadership of the Electoral Commission is already partisan.
But you see, sometimes realities are hard to tell, but they remain realities.
Yeah.
Now you will talk to which court? The Constitutional Court?
I'm
The
thinking
Court of
maybe.
Appeal? The Supreme Court? Which court are you now going to talk about? You see, the problems we face, Edgar, is that we have lived in a country where everything has just been left to be normal. Let it be as he wishes. The president's wish now will be the law and will be the thing that will be conducted. I will start with the appointments that are made by the president. And the time when we don't consider these appointments on merit, that's where we have gone wrong on each and everything that we do. We have had appointments that now have come political sentiment. You understand?
Rewarding people.
It's just a reward. You have lost an election, but you have been good to us. Where do we fix you? I laughed sometime, I think about 2 days ago, when I heard that we have a national hand washing, what is it called? National hand washing, I think authority and the rest. And I was wondering, now what does that one
Authority,
mean?
an authority.
Yes. I will just remind, I will check and remind myself about it.
So people just
Hand
create
washing,
things for others to get
they are
what to do.
political
Somehow get an
sentiments,
office.
like I've told
We even
you.
have money for people who are testing coffee.
Yeah.
So these things are not really...
It's actually National Hand Washing Secretariat in Uganda. And Uganda now in this country.
So those
who
ones are
needs a
teaching people how to wash their hands.
Maybe.
Because the COVID-19 is coming up. I heard they're just starting it in Mbarara. 30 people.
We have it.
Are in quarantine.
The
So
National Hand Washing Initiative.
maybe it has
and it's a
some
secretariat, a
roles.
full secretariat.
But will Uganda ever have an independent judiciary where people get justice without being influenced by the president?
As long as we change our rules on how appointments should be made. On how appointments should be made, then we can have an independent one. But I've told you most of these now appointments that are made to the president
So
are
does that
only
mean
made to his to the people that believe in him actually. The people that have maybe helped him somewhere, the people maybe that he believes they will help him somewhere, those are the people that are
Or a
giving
son
these
of a
awards.
comrade they fought with.
Yes.
Things
No,
like
your
that.
rewards are always
These are rewards.
So ekyo kitegeeza nti bano abantu be balonze kachiko ka isi tetulina kye tuyinza bakola, we just have to bear.
You have to accept them as they are because Parliament vetted them and it passed them. I think they're only waiting to be sworn in.
What do you think about the elections?
And take position. You see?
Do you advise the opposition
But
to
before we
also
even
gear
blame
up for
the
opposition
president,
for that?
how about the people who vetted them?
But those are the people that you want us to thank.
Did they not one about NRM?
Those are the people that you want us to thank.
Just thinking
Anti
about
aba NRM benni wa so sichipia. But
You see,
this
Edgar,
issue of Kalulu, should we be excited about 2026?
Edgar, you see, the problem we have as Ugandan is that most of us, and the people that have access to power, some of them are investors and they're businessmen.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, yeah.
They are no longer looking at having a position of an MP as a position for delivering services to the people. But they are looking at it as an investment.
Yes, sir.
Ntadde milioni zange 10. Oluvannyuma lw'emyaka 5 ngenda kuba nina milioni mmeka. I have 2 billion, for example. Then I have to go for that kind of business.
So
Do you understand? So the problem is most of these people want to center on mostly the leaders of the pressure groups that are at the peak at the time of elections. And they want to take photos with maybe Honorable Bobby Wine, maybe Kano Chiza Besigye. They want that photo next to him because they know it will reward them in the coming elections. And they build this kind of false consciousness and false hope on the masses that are following them, that actually this is the change that we want to have. You get? People start campaigns when they know that the electoral commission that will conduct elections was appointed by the president, who is also part of the elections that they are going to join.
Yes.
But they foolishly, I don't know whether foolishly or with that kind of false hope and false confidence, they join that kind of election. It is a process because now this is 2024, sorry. Now the electoral commission has been appointed. The next will be the roadmaps on how these activities will be run.
Exactly.
These opposition people are following the same roadmap. These roadmaps are brought up by people that are appointed by the president, who will also be part of the same election.
So who's fooling who?
I am just trying to make your point
point
so that the viewers also can understand this. So these people who are investors in politics will now lie behind Edgar and say, Edgar, ochimanyo ja chikuba. Atoso kufuka president waf. Because you have that kind of momentum and the people like you, maybe people come and support you, maybe you pull crowds. That's when these people, the investors, will start surrounding you. That's when you will see about 5 or 10 MPs now behind you and they say, Onoye waf, Onoye agendo tukulembera. Their target is actually not you being the leader in power, maybe as a president, but their target is them being MPs, being councillors, being
Which they will get. Which they will get.
Take the positions. And you seeing them around you will also build that kind of confidence.
False confidence.
Oba Museveni yabaronda, oba si yabaronda, fe twagala kimu, twagala Karura, ate tugenda kawangula. You get? After that, we start the campaigns.
Yes.
Most of these people don't even follow you on your trail campaigns. No, they're concentrated in their constituency.
Yes. They'll just bring you to come and their constituency.
Now they can't afford to lose it. That's when they would be in their constituencies mobilizing for their support. Yes, Origwe tuina ya tukulembede na ye nange wano.
Nange wano nze mtufu.
You get my point? We go in the elections, and what made it worth is that the president and the MP are voted the same day. You get my point? So it means if Farida is contesting maybe under a flag of NUP, for example, Edgar is the president of the NUP. At the day of voting, Farida will not now follow Edgar so that they can put up the energies and guard their votes maybe, or mobilize the final touches in their campaigns. Farida Jacoba constituency and Onya Karu Edgar go president.
That was the experience of last election.
Osigade Wekanga Edgar as the leader of the National Unity Platform or any other political party. Buri MP banawade bakusudia because they cannot afford to lose the 100 or 200 million or the 500 they have invested. Because they are investors. They are not looking at a cause that is genuine, but they are looking at how can I be a beneficiary of this kind of regime.
They are businessmen.
Akaruru bagenda kuba that very day, and they will make announcements. Jukira onariwe nori ariwe nawo oriwe ka.
Everyone is rude.
The following day, after announcing Edgar as the winner of that political seat, Edgar is now the MP of Makindye. Edgar will not think about the leader that he was supporting as a president. Chaguranyi, in this case, I will give an example. Edgar, the following day, after being announced, Edgar will put up a tracker full of music system with his voters on the track. He will slaughter, I don't know how many, 10 cows. And all the people that would have been behind, maybe, for example, Honorable Chaguranyi, maybe to see how best can we realize our result as we voted. But Jacobe wa Honorable Edgar, wakati Jacobe fuse Honorable. Bali mkweli nyama na kuba muziki. You get? And that one will not happen in Edgar's constituency alone, but it will happen all over the country. Because everybody is so happy, they have that kind of feel, I have won it because my investment now will be realized. Edgar, Honorable Chaguranyi, for example, will be in his home now thinking, now what next? We reached an extent that we did, that some of the political leaders here on the presidential seat did not have these forms. What are they called? DRA forms. Because the MPs were just there busy celebrating and jubilating for winning memberships and becoming members of parliament. You get? Abantu ababadde batukumamu omuliro that we are in a struggle, and the struggle needs to change this regime as it is. But because they have now become members of parliament, now the struggle is no more. You understand? Yeah. So what do you expect at the end of it all? Struggle at the end of it all, ne president ono gwe bazimbirako balyoke batuke before bye bayina. He cannot even access them. Agenda mukubira mugambe ki. Sikyalina kyenkwagaza. That's when they will start conflicts on a boat. MP baffe tubakubira naye tebakyakwata simu zaabwe. Because what they wanted, they actually realized. Kati gugendo tobibyo. We are now gearing into elections, and you will see the same people now starting to come.
So, Counsel, what you're saying means there are no serious people who really want to take power.
Exactly.
We are
not on the same cause as the people. We are not on the same cause as the people. And I've told you clearly. I've given you a clear example. Those atagara chitegera.
Atega bachetegekera, that's the thing.
Atagara chitegera.
NUP has officially declared that in 2026 they are coming for.
And at the end of it all, they will be here crying. They will be here crying that so when you started the process of elections when you knew that Byabakama was the one in the chair.
Exactly.
You get?
So you agree with Dr. Besigye has said
I very much agree with him. I very much agree with him. Unless we change how these electoral commission
So, Counsel, what happens if people say that they are not going to participate in the coming election?
But now
Will it not happen?
that means that we shall have a regime that will have expired by that time. Because the constitution is clear when elections of the president and the members of parliament shall take place. So it means when their term lapses and we don't have elections, then we shall not have a government. You understand? The one that will be in power, its term of office shall have expired. And when we have an expired regime, then it means we don't have a legitimate regime at the time.
But the thing is,
do you know what will happen at the end of it all? Because people want recognition from these different organizations and from other countries, so that we can be recognized as something that is legitimate. And most of them, of course, want to brag about good governance and democracy. You understand? And so many, you can talk about them. Then we shall be forced into creating, I should call it, like a round table negotiations. Because we shall have the big powers that will have stake in the leadership of this country. That's when you will see everybody coming on board to discuss the way forward. And that's when the opposition and its big wigs will have the power now to state clearly its terms. What do we do if we want a free and fair elections? Let us all participate in appointing the electoral commission. You understand?
But the thing is this, you paint a very good picture. But let's take a case of Congo. Congo had 16% voter turnout. And I agree that some people may dispute. In fact, many of the Ugandans won't go for elections in 2026, I am sure, to vote. But of course, you'll have maybe a 15% or 20% voter turnout. These people, don't they decide what government? If they voted for example, President Museveni again, President Museveni would be president.
President Museveni will be president, but with which percentage?
20% of the people.
No, with which population?
In fact, 2 million voted or one.
No, with which kind of population that believes in his regime? Do you know what the rest can do? Do you know the power of the people that they can do?
Ugandans have proved that they can't do anything. Ugandans have proved that they can't do anything.
But maybe those are the others that have been before. But trust me, Edgar, if such kind of an approach is taken, we shall have this regime change as with the immediate effect, as you cannot even believe. Because a regime itself cannot run on an expired term of office. You understand that?
And the chairmen are running on the same expired term.
They are being extended and extended and extended.
So that means, how about when we come to January 2026 and they extend?
They extend, but the extension can be for about 6 months. And of course, we shall declare a state of emergency in this country. And do you know what that means? Isn't that power enough to have and cause a change in this country?
So why is it hard for the opposition to just get away from it?
We have investors in the politics
they
of
want
this country.
Money.
We have investors who don't have people that believe in the cause of changing.
MPs receive $8,000 every month. How many Ugandans get that money?
You get? That's the problem that we are facing as the opposition that you want to praise here each and every day. Praise individuals, but not everybody is here for a cause. No. Some of the people are here just they want to be MPs of their constituencies. Some of them want to be councillors. Some of them want to be mayors. Some of them, and these are the people who are elected today, and they are sworn in. The members of parliament, the first parliamentary business is to discuss how much do we earn as members of parliament.
Exactly, most of the times.
How much are our monthly allowances as members of parliament? Now we will be calling them that tonight to struggle. We want to change this regime. Sure. See somebody that is now looking at his money monthly. He's looking at the monthly pension. Actually, that's what they will be saying. You see, my size now, the cow of 200 million cannot be enough.
I was surprised that we even dressed them.
They will say it cannot be enough for me because of my weight, maybe because of the constituency I come in. The roads are very terrible. Now a car of 200 million cannot sustain that road. Now let us make 250. And because they are all benefiting, they will say yes. And the eyes will have it, and that's how we shall have it.
Where is the soul of this country? Because I feel we lost it somewhere.
I think at some point, Edgar, I tend to believe in what Dr. Besigye had introduced in this country. So that we start praying for the country every Wednesday. Because we need, I think, a divine healing, so that we rebuke this kind of devil spirit in the people that are believing in the selfish interests themselves.
Because I'm going to give you an example. The Auditor General's report for last financial year showed we still have a debt of 96 trillion. That's a lot of money. Money that was given to people who died. That is 53 billion. Over 10,000 employees were still receiving remuneration.
And we have ghost workers there.
100 billion was stolen from PDM, money supposed to be utilized by Ugandans. Then 5.8 trillion was underutilized, money that is given to them, but they don't even use it. Yes. Ghost districts, we have ghost districts that have RDCs, that have cows,
that have everybody.
Because where is our soul really? Because I'm telling you, I've not even talked about the coffee. The coffee scam was more of, this is the money we have, you people get this, Farida take this, Edgar take this, let's
Edgar, I've told you, not until we change this kind of behavior that people want to benefit as themselves individually, and we bring this cause to the rest of the people, to all of us. We shall not change this. Imagine, I will give an example of my home district that had over 13 health centers, 13 that are ghost. These are hospitals that receive medicine,
yes,
monthly allowances, they have ASA workers, but
they don't exist.
They don't exist anyway. But you know where the problem comes in? Just because these people that we elected may be in different offices are beneficiaries of such kind of practices. And there is no way they will come up to complain about such existing health centers that are ghost. You get? So all that money that is paid to the ghost workers, it is known. Because by the time the Auditor General comes put it in his report, it means it is known.
Yes.
So now when it is known, who takes that money?
Yeah, because
no, we should be questioning who creates
who creates them,
but
and
who
where
has
does
taken
that
the 53
money
billion?
Where
Is it
does
from
that
the
money
district?
go?
53 billion, you people. 53
because
billion.
you see, when they are making these reports,
many schools
they
are
actually
there?
do investigation.
Yes.
And I believe when you're doing an investigation, you
There's
can really
evidence.
understand that this money, if you are talking about, I don't know how
Even
many
in UPE
thousand.
schools, there are ghost students.
Yes, very many
They
of
will
them.
report
You get?
500, kumbe they have 100.
It means that Edgar, by the time you realize that we have 1,000 ghost workers, you have actually understood that they exist. You even have their details. That's my presumption. How did you know that they are ghosts if you don't have their details? Can't you publish all those details?
Who received the money? That's the thing.
Me, I have.
Because the Auditor General is doing this, maybe ceremonially.
By practice, Edgar, I have gone through a process of getting money from the government as a payment. I have gone through that process. But the things they would ask you for, it worries when somebody tells you that we have ghost workers that are receiving monthly salary and actually.
Should we say these people in the ministries were creating these ghost schools and ghost hospitals?
Obviously,
for
because
that?
now me and you,
Actually,
how do you have access actually to put even one ghost worker in the system so that they can start?
Because the question is, who has the access? Really?
Who has the access? Who creates this? Because they brought a system that has a database where you have to feed in the details of each and every worker. In fact, me, I always see it from my mother, who is a teacher. They normally call them after some time. Come and update your system. Come and update your details. Where do those people that have ghost salaries behind, how do they do that update on their system?
Who has access to that account?
That account is in which name?
Who has access to those accounts?
So I think some things are being done deliberately, but because we cannot go beyond what the report talks about, then we are okay with it. Because I don't know how many reports the Auditor General has made.
Now what?
Because
now the report is out.
But the order has done his job. It's now the people who are supposed to implement the policy.
But this is not the first time. You see, me, I want to believe that if I was the Auditor General, the reports he has made, then I would stop making such kind of reports. Of what importance are they to us, to me and you, Edgar? Of what importance? It's about actually to put us in worry and shock.
The eye-opening, you are starting to realize.
Eye-opening, and then what? And then what? Is it the first report?
No, but
talk about
the IGG has come out and has told you that people, these are happening to you, but you cannot seem to be comfortable.
But now you also see.
If the IGG in her capacity, she cannot do anything.
She
What
cannot
does she
do
expect?
No, she has tried everything she can, and she has said, you people, I have tried everything.
But the IGG herself is a
from
mockery
there,
to us. You remember when she said, but you be there. Me, when I fall sick,
when
I will
fall
be
sick,
thrown
I will
on the
be
next
here.
paper.
I'll be a-
Let's call the bitter truth. Akugambi mazima agaluma nti bana.
And those are the
And
kind
she
of
drives
people
the
that are
V8.
holding these offices that are of instance in checking such kind of corruption that is happening in different ministries. But it means they don't care about it, because at the end of it all, they are not facing any impacts of what is happening in this country.
In fact, now
You get-
Ugandan is doomed because the Ugandan has to pay the 96 trillion.
We have to pay it, and we have any choice.
And in fact, I was hearing the president talking up to the Nine Allied Movement members that you people, we should boycott IMF. These people are trying to, put strings attached to their funding. These folks have been giving us money for a while.
And it has actually benefited us. But now you hear him, the president, with all due respect, talking about the members of the NAM. You know, NAM existed since 1964.
64.
Huh? What has it done that it has impacted the rest of the people, that we have felt its capacity, its impotence? And we know that when NAM speaks, A would be done. What has it done for theirs? It has existed. Because this was the 19th sitting. Have you heard of any document issued and actually being enforced that it is from NAM members? We're just wasting time and creating all these false hopes in the citizens that we have NAM and the common Ugandan, me and you are the ones suffering because we shall receive visitors of NAM. Of what importance are they? Because we shall receive visitors of England. What have they done to Uganda so that we can be proud that actually we are hosting them? See, some of these things are only to be kept in books. That Uganda hosted NAM in 2024 and IGAD. So what?
So there's nothing we got.
So
what?
there is nothing positive that comes with the hosting now.
Maybe the sieves that we have in this country that are in direct procurement of how these guests will sleep, of how these guests will be transported, of how they will eat, and the rest. Now, Edgar, how will you benefit from now?
Directly, I've known.
Has it done anything before that we believe that hosting it, maybe they will talk about the human rights abuses that we are facing in Uganda? Have they talked about it? Have they talked about the torture, the kidnaps that we have in this country? Have they talked about the democracy that is in its bad and worst state in this country? Instead, they are praising it. Have they talked about the corruption that we are facing in this country? Have they talked about the poor infrastructure that we have, the poor health centers and services that we are facing at the country, the poor education system, where we have over 200,000 students leave school in their primary education? Yes. Have they talked about it? So how is it helping me and you so that we can be proud that Uganda hosted NAM in 2024? Has it done anything before? Is it going to start now?
There is always a first time. Maybe they start 2024.
But NAM is
the president is now
ended.
the new chair.
Did it end?
Yeah, it ended.
Did it pronounce any of the things I have talked about? So that we believe that maybe they have issued such a statement on corruption. Maybe they have issued such a statement on human rights.
They made
abuses in the
resolutions. We
country.
shall be reading that resolutions. They made
But the
resolutions.
resolutions are not really binding to Uganda. That's the
No,
thing.
it shouldn't be to Uganda
No, but,
because the NAM was not specifically to
Yes,
Uganda
but
alone.
we are saying there are some challenges we are facing as Ugandans. How are they contributing to solving those particular
And
challenges?
that we believe that actually they should be impactful.
In fact, the Wananchi feels that the NAM has actually exacerbated the problems they have. They have been
you know how many people have
destroyed. People have been evicted from their
evicted
working
from their
places.
working places?
There is more to cry for than to.
And
to
you are
be
hosting
happy
a
for.
president of I don't know which country.
How about
Cuba.
Who doesn't want to care about what happens in Uganda? They're all the same. Have they done anything that we feel
NAM is just a
maybe
symbol.
when they come to Uganda, maybe?
No, we got 70 cars.
Group
there
of
was-
77.
No, we got 70 cars. We don't even know who's the
Would
owner.
you even ever step in that
But
car?
they also even traveled around the country, tourist attraction. You may think there's some dollars that they've left here.
But now who is the beneficiary of those dollars? I've told you, the beneficiaries
the money
themselves are the
circulation.
beneficiaries that will take it. You wait, and reports will come out how much money has been stolen.
And I heard
from
Mr.
these-
President advocate for opening borders, China opening its borders to us, the developing countries, such that we can trade freely. That is a plus.
But as Uganda, do we have that power and capacity to actually talk to China so that it can freely open
We are
its
friends
borders?
with
no, we are
Xi Jinping.
friends with China, so
Anyway, let us
Something
say-
happened.
no, but my own issue is...
The president is really close to the Eastern.
My own
the
issue,
Eastern Bloc.
Edgar, my own
They are
issue
friends
is
a bit.
one. these whatever summits and the meetings, the conferences will end. But surprisingly, wait, in about 2 months, you will hear how much money has been stolen. Because of NAM, because of IGAD, because of the G77.
Because we are all concentrated on them, and so other people take...
So those people who don't have access, on how these maybe services are procured by the government, they will not be beneficiaries anyway.
But at least we got a new airport. We can say new airport lounge. We got new roads here and there.
No.
Edgar,
new roads.
Revamped roads. They were revamped. Yeah, but you can say that there are some things that Uganda will say at least.
So you mean without NAM we wouldn't have our roads repaired?
Were they repaired? They were not.
They
were not. They were repaired for the guests.
So should we thank now that our road has been repaired?
No, at least Ugambe single... Okay, they would have repaired, but not this soon. Not this soon.
You see, like, I'm telling you, Counsel, when you live in a life of destitute, even the mere bare minimum is something you worth celebrating.
That's when you will not actually living on bare minimums.
But it's the reality of Uganda today, Counsel. That's the reality of Uganda.
We expect a lot from this regime, and we believe a lot should be done. Why should we be thankful for just making repairs on the potholes in
Counsel, give us your parting shots. We've come to the end of this discussion. Very candid discussion indeed. Counsel Kato Tumusiime, a lawyer by profession, in fact an advocate with the High Court, trying to paint a picture of what Uganda looks like today and how better we can really address it. Counsel, give us your parting shots, then we can call it a day.
Much as I've said a lot today, these are my opinions, and I believe that if you feel that there is something that should work, then adopt it. If you don't, also disagree, but respect with your own opinions, because they are entitled to me. You're also entitled to your own opinion. But like I will say, it's upon us to actually determine where do we want to be as a country, and it all starts with you and me. If this is what I believe in, also put in your, your investigations, maybe put in your cameras and also see what do you believe that should work for us as a country. Then I believe that we can do better.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Counsel. Counsel Kato Tumusiime is a lawyer and advocate to the High Court, and of course he's the head of the legal team here at the Alternative Uganda. Thank you so much for watching from the entire time we started from 8 up to now. You've been watching us. Thank you so much. I was Farida, and of course I had Ali on camera, and Mr. Mukose Arnold Anthony is a gentleman in production. So from the entire team, God bless you. God bless Uganda. See you tomorrow, same time, same station.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.